Your mother calls every Sunday at 6 p.m. You pick up on the second ring. Not the first because she worries when you answer too fast, not the third because she worries when you don't. You've had this timing figured out for years. She asks how work is going. You say, fine. She asks if you're eating. You say, yes. She tells you about your cousin's new car, a white BMW he posted 3 times this week. And she sounds proud in the way that's really a question aimed at you. You say that's great. You mean it without feeling it. What you don't say is that you paid cash for a 31-unit apartment building last Tuesday, that the wire cleared at 11:06 a.m. while you were eating leftover rice at your kitchen counter, that the acquisition brings your total portfolio to $430 million in verified asset value. You don't say any of that. You say, tell him I said congrats. Then you ask about her garden, and she talks for 14 minutes about her tomatoes, and you listen. Actually listen, because this is the part of your life that is clean and uncomplicated and has nothing to do with numbers. You hang up and sit with the quiet for a while. The silence in your apartment is a particular kind, not empty, just settled. It started with a lie you told yourself, not a dramatic one, a small one. You were 26, working a logistics coordination role that paid decently and asked nothing of you spiritually. You had $9,400 saved. No plan. What you had was a habit of noticing things other people walked past. There was a vending route listed in a local classified. 4 machines across 3 office buildings and 1 automotive shop. Asking price, $8,200. The previous owner was relocating. The financials, handwritten in a spiral notebook, showed $1,100 a month net after restocking. You sat with that notebook for 3 evenings. You ran the numbers 6 different ways. Every single way led to the same place. You bought it. You told no one. You told yourself you'd mention it when it became something worth mentioning. It never stopped being too small to mention. And by the time it wasn't small anymore, silence had already become your architecture, the frame your whole life was quietly being built inside. Here is what accumulation actually looks like from the inside. It looks like a Tuesday. It looks like a Thursday evening sitting in a parking lot running property records on your phone because something about a building's vacancy rate felt off and you needed to understand why before you could sleep. It looks like Saturday mornings at a property instead of brunch. It looks like saying no to things that would have been completely fine to say yes to. The group trip to Cancun. Not because you couldn't afford it, because those 5 days had a different use and you already knew what it was. The vending route became 2 routes. The 2 routes funded a duplex. The duplex funded 2 more. You added a self-storage facility in year 4, a laundromat in year 5, a small strip of retail units by year 7. None of it loud. None of it the kind of thing that earns a congratulations dinner. Just compounding, moving forward the way roots move through soil, without announcement and without anyone's permission. Your brother thinks you work in real estate consulting. That's the version you gave him 4 years ago when he started asking sharper questions at family gatherings. It's close enough to the truth that you don't feel dishonest. He works in sales, does well, drives a good car, quotes his income in round numbers at dinner in a way that gently scans the room for responses. You give him a response. It's genuine. You're proud of him. What you feel watching him is not superiority. It's something closer to real tenderness and something heavier living underneath it, because you can see the shape of the next 5 years of his financial life from where you're standing, and you cannot say that, and you cannot fix it without breaking something between you, and so that knowledge just sits in you with nowhere useful to go. Your father is the one you almost told, 3 years ago, Christmas Eve, the 2 of you on the back porch after dinner, while everyone else was watching something loud on television inside. He was talking about regret, the particular kind that comes from working 34 years for a company that restructured him out at 58 and called it right-sizing. He wasn't complaining. He was just being honest, the way men his age sometimes get honest when it's cold and quiet and the year is ending. You almost said it. You had the sentence fully constructed. You could feel it in your mouth, ready to come out. You let it go, because telling him would have changed the way he looked at you. and you needed one person in your life who still looked at you exactly the way he always had. That was worth more than whatever relief the truth would have bought you. The portfolio at this point runs mostly without you. That was the design from early on. You built systems the way you'd build anything meant to last, with redundancy, with solid operators, with enough margin that a rough month in one category doesn't show up anywhere in your week. Your property managers handled the calls. Your accountant, a precise and unrushed woman named Patricia who has worked alongside you for 5 years and who you consider genuinely irreplaceable, even though you've never said that directly to her, sends the quarterlies without drama. You review them the way you review weather reports. Informational, contextual. You move when movement is required. You don't manufacture urgency where none honestly exists. The thing about living invisible is that it requires maintenance, not performance. There's a meaningful difference. You are not performing modesty. You stopped needing the external version of the thing a long time ago. The internal confirmation was always more reliable anyway. You knew the number before Patricia sent it because you had been tracking every single moving part for years. The email just formalized what you already knew. When it arrived, you were standing in a hardware store, trying to choose between 2 sizes of pipe fittings for a faucet repair. You read it, you chose the fitting, you drove home, you fixed the faucet. The next morning, you fixed the small drip you'd missed the night before. You made coffee, you opened your notebook, and wrote 4 specific questions about a pest control business whose owner had just updated his professional biography to include the words, "considering new directions." The questions were precise. You'd ask them in about 3 weeks. Over a lunch, you'd let him lead for the first 40 minutes, at a place with no particular meaning to either of you. Your mother calls every Sunday at 6 p.m. You will pick up on the second ring. She will ask about work. You will say, fine. She will mention someone's new car or recent promotion or upcoming trip. You will respond the way a person responds when they are genuinely happy for the people they love. Then you will ask about her tomatoes. She will talk, you will listen, and for those 14 minutes, the number will mean absolutely nothing at all. That is not a loss. That is the whole design. Some things you build to be seen and validated and announced. Some things you build simply to be real. The ones that are real don't need a room full of people. They don't require an audience or a caption or a reaction. They just need to keep running. And they do. Quietly, reliably, without anyone knowing. That's enough. It has always been enough.